All right, welcome back to another episode of Take 5 at 5. And today we are at episode number 15. And once again, thank you very much for all those of you who have been supporting us since the first episode. And today we will be sharing with you on a very special topic on mindfulness. Okay. And I think this is a very special topic that a lot of people knows about it, but very few people know what it is, So if I were to walk down the street today and if I were to ask people, hey, do you know about mindfulness or have you heard of mindfulness? A lot of people will say, yeah, I heard of mindfulness. But when you say, hey, have you really experienced mindfulness or experienced being mindful? A lot of people will say, probably not. Okay. So today we're going to talk more a little bit about what mindfulness is all about. But before that, I just want to welcome everyone here to today's episode. And if you are new here, please follow our page, My Heart See, all right? My Heart Connection. All right, click like, go to our LinkedIn page, search for hashtag Take 5 at 5. Follow the link so that you can get all the updates whenever we share our new video. Okay, and if you are watching right now, please help us to click the like button, right? Or probably you can click the love heart shape, send us some love. You can also comment down below, say hi to us, and even when the live show is ongoing, right? If the speaker were to say something that resonates with you, if you have any questions, please feel free to just comment down below, and we will pick it up if we have the time and to go through all your comments. And of course, since we are already at the 15th episode, and on and off, I also received a lot of people, calling me, hey, Jack, why you never picked up my comment, right? So please send in all your comments, right? If we have the time, we will go through it, right? If we don't go through it through the live session, we definitely will read it even after the live broadcast. Okay? Don't worry, just comment down below, just tap until your keyboard breaks. Also, never mind, right? It's okay. All right, so coming to today's episode number 15, Power of Mindfulness and the Start of Change. And today with us is the co-founder of gloWithin, okay, Mean Yeit, and Mean Yeit is a mindfulness expert, and he's going to share with us more about what mindfulness is all about. So welcome, Mean Yeit.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk a little bit more of or probably we're going to explore more internally, right? Yeah, so before this, right, I have already have a conversation with Mean Yeit, on backstage, and he was bringing me through the experience of being mindful. It's sort of like Mean Yeit can actually, read my mind, like some magic that happened. So I hope in today's session, we will be able to, bring this experience to the audience in our live show as well. All right. So to begin, Mean Yeit, maybe you can share with us what is mindfulness? What is mindfulness?
Okay. Yeah. Mindfulness is actually to be aware. This is the key word, to be aware of actually what's happening outside you and what's happening in you. Yeah. So outside you could mean that anything that you see and hear, right? So it naturally comes to you. And what is interesting is that for most of us, we are aware of what's outside, but we actually rarely are aware of what's inside us. When I say inside, means that our reactions to things, and then also our intention to do something. Yeah. So a lot of the time, what you realize is that we go into an auto mode. Yeah. So then whatever reaction that comes, then you straight away say it out and you do it. And then sometimes after that, you feel a bit, oh yeah, I could have done better, that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
So being mindful is about knowing what happened on the outside and knowing what happened on the inside. Wow,
Yes.
Mean Yeit, very cheap, huh? Can you give us some example or not? Can you give us an example or not?
So we use the word being mindful. So sometimes you also use the word being aware, to know, or even to recognize, because you realize that whenever you're aware of something, these are the different qualities that come together with the awareness. So let me just give you an example, right? So aware of like what? Okay, so just use the recent event here, as an example, right? So, so from the news, you read about the COVID and then the lockdown, and then economy is not doing well. Company are closing down. You also heard of friends who get pay cut, and then some of them even got laid off. So these are what are the things that are happening to you. Then along the way, you may start to be aware that actually there is a worry in me. I'm actually getting worried when I see the news. It's a reaction that's inside you. But sometimes we may not even recognize that. So when you recognize that, then when you are slowly into the awareness, you may even realize, hey, actually I am worried about losing my own job. I may be aware that, hey, I'm afraid I lose my job, my company might close down, I might get a pay cut. Then later on, you may even be aware of the additional things that come along. Oh, how about my family? I still need to pay for my car, pay for my home, blah, 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 and all the other different obligations. And as your awareness continue, you may start to even recognize, hey, actually, I feel paralyzed right now. You feel that I cannot do anything. Yeah. So I am doomed. Yeah. Things are going to get worse for me. And then not only worry, now it may evolve into a panicking mode that you feel. Then you feel that you cannot do anything. And then with that same awareness, you may even start to recognize you start to lose energy. You feel that like you don't have energy to move, you feel a bit low. Yeah, you feel that suddenly your bright future that you were thinking of suddenly all gone. And this awareness could carry on. You might start to recognize that, A, this is a story that I tell myself. And not only is a story that I tell myself once, I repeat it in the morning when I eat. I repeat the same story when I'm taking a shower. And every time I repeat that story, I will repeat this cycle of getting worried, getting like losing the energy, losing the motivation, feeling that like, that's the end of the world. Yeah. And then your awareness grows, right? Along the way, and you may start to recognize, hey, this story, right, could have some truth in it, but do I need to repeat it so many times in my mind or not? Yeah, do I need to keep repeating itself and keep scaring myself so many times or not?
Yes, Mean Yeit. Actually, when you are sharing this process, right?
Mm,
Even yesterday, right? When we were go through, we were going through this rehearsal process, when we share with me what you talk about, and when you walk me through this process, right? That's where I suddenly feel like, hey, you really understand what is going on, and hey, how do you know, I'm going through this, and even right now, hearing it for the second time and knowing, what is the process like, right? I still
mm,
can resonate very well. I can still connect very well with the example that you have given, and I'm sure the viewers and the audience at home, right? As Minnie shared with you the process, I'm very sure each and every one of us we also gone through the same series of process. Probably the story is different, but I think each and every one of us, while going through this crisis, all of us also go through this process whereby the change externally happen. We say, no, it doesn't happen to us. And when the MCO got extended the second time and for the third time, then the bank statements start coming in, and the clients start calling you and saying that, hey, all the deals are cancelled, and the whole country is on lockdown, right? Then a lot of worry coming in, and all of us we have this story that is telling us and also stressing us throughout the whole entire process. What happens to my family and things like that. But Minnie, I want to ask you, can
mm.
one person go through the entire process saying that, oh, probably this is a story I tell myself, but at the same time, right, still go back to the repeat back the cycle again, right? Like
It could.
I've gone through the cycle, say, oh yeah, I realized that, oh yeah, no, probably it's just a story I tell myself. Then I move on, and then I go back again, right? Does
Yeah.
it happen?
It could be. So it really depends on your power of your mindfulness, how strong your awareness is. Because
Wow.
when the awareness grow in strength, slowly, you may experience a space, right? So sometimes people describe this space as like the space where you can respond instead of react. So what happens is that as your awareness grow, you come to this space. So you know in front, these are the things that's happening outside. Here, there's this part whereby these are the stories that I tell myself. But you could start to recognize another part of you. Even with all these things happening, it's not that suddenly you become stupid. Yeah. Your IQ is still there, right? You still have your hand, have your leg. Your qualification doesn't disappear. Then you might just recognize that, actually, I can prepare for it. Right? I try my best to prepare myself. Okay, I'm not doomed. I can do something about it. But I don't have to keep scaring myself. So the strength of the awareness will determine whether you fall back to the story and keep replaying again and again. Yeah. And for some people, whereby this awareness is stronger, you realize that they move through faster.
Ah,
Yeah. So some people seems to be a bit more resilient than other people because they
right.
recognize I'm just rolling in this thing. It doesn't change anything. Yeah. Then slowly they will move on to the next stage.
I
Yeah.
see. So mindfulness is if the person is have higher level of mindfulness, then this person will be able to go through the entire process faster and get out of it faster and have less likelihood to fall back to the process again. Am I
Yeah,
correct? Getting
yeah,
that?
yeah. It could be, yeah. So I won't say that it's like higher level lah, because mindfulness
Wow.
is about being consistent. Like the more consistent you are, then you
Mm,
are a bit more alert. Yeah, more
mm,
aware. So when the stories is going to come right again, then you know, hey, I'm telling myself the same story again. I'm going to
mm,
replay this story again, right? So
mm.
am I going to replay it, or is there a better place for me to shift my attention to?
All right, so if you are just tuning in to us, welcome to Take 5 at 5. Today we are already at episode number 15. Thank you for joining us. Today we are talking about the power of mindfulness. And with us here is Mean Yeit, the co-founder of gloWithin, and he's our mindfulness guru here today. And we are talking about what is mindfulness, and we are just about to go into how do we be mindful then. But before that, let's take a look at, who are with us here today? Yeah, just say hi to those of you who have commented. All right. Hi, Bakstan. Hi, Suibi. Right. Hi, Catherine. Hi, TK. Hi, Dolly. Niven, Christine, Michelle. Okay, Wan Yue. Okay, who else? Chi Seng. Hi, Chi Seng. Sulin. Hi. Ben. Oh, Ben has always, follow up with always here with us on our episode, right? So it looks like we have a question here, Minit. So maybe you want to answer some question first. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
sure.
right, how do you know that you are mindful? Right, many people nowadays can easily lose their temper and are not mindful about it. Yes, very good question. Yeah. Mm.
Okay. Well, this is like preempting the next thing that I want to say actually. Yeah, because the next thing that I'm going to share is like, when in this process of recognition, right? So it's like reckoning outside and inside, how do you recognize, how does this awareness works? Okay, let me just try this, yeah. Okay. So I just do a simple exercise. So let's see whether it is something that works.
Mm.
Okay. So
Okay.
like for example, right now, right, you may be looking at your laptop or you may
Mm.
be scrolling your phone, right?
Mm.
So you may be listening to me or you may be looking at something else in the Facebook. It's okay. All right. So then I would like to ask you, are you aware of the outer frame of the device that you are using right now? As I say that, for some of you, you may experience a shift. You may suddenly feel as if you have zoomed out. You now take note of the frame of the device that you are using. And not only that, you suddenly know the things that are around you again. Yeah. So that shift it's as if you are becoming aware again, right? So this is an illustration in terms of how awareness is experienced. So let me give you another one, okay? Which is what is recognizing what is inside you. So now you're listening to me. You're looking at the screen probably, right? Can you also feel how you are sitting? Suddenly you feel your body again. And do you recognize how you are feeling right now? Are you feeling good or not good? And there's one more thing that you can also recognize. As I'm talking now, likelihood in your mind, you are also talking. You're probably making comments, you know what I'm talking about or whatever, or you're agreeing or whatever. You can also recognize that conversation that in your mind. And this ability to be aware and recognize that conversation in your mind is awareness. And this implication is very big actually, because you can have a subject and an object, right? The very fact that if you can recognize what you are thinking, this is the object, let's say, that means that you are not the thinking. Because a subject would recognize the object. So when you recognize what you are thinking, actually at that moment, you are not the thinking. But usually this experience doesn't last very long. It doesn't last very long. Yeah, you
Wow.
usually fall back into the thinking very fast.
Wow, Mean Yeit. Wow, so deep lah, Mean Yeit. Okay,
Huh?
let's ask the audience. Let's ask the audience. So, how are you feeling right now? Those of you watching at home or you're watching from devices, so how many of you experienced the shift of the focus of your mind from looking at the screen and suddenly when Mingy share with us, hey, do you notice about the frame? Do you notice about how you're sitting? Do you notice that you are actually agreeing with us, or probably you are cursing us? Wow, why you say like that? Mindfulness is not like that one. Yeah. So if you experience and suddenly you notice the shift in your mind focus, right? Comment down below and say yes. Yes, I experienced that. Let us know, Yeah, because as I'm listening, also I feel wow, like very deep. Yeah.
It is actually not very deep in the sense that it is something experiential, but I'm not too sure through this online way whether it works.
So that's why we're asking them. We're asking them, Minit. So all of you, please let Minit know, whether you feel, can you feel the connection? Can you feel that? If suddenly while you're watching the device, like, oh yeah, I didn't notice what is happening behind me, And I think that is very, very true when all of us are, especially when you stay at home, we are watching YouTube without us
Mm.
realizing it. I think this story is very, very relevant to us, And after a while, I look up, hey, I don't know that what's happening around me. 2 hours have gone past. I've wasted a lot of time watching a lot of nonsense YouTube and things like that. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. TK Chan say he is deep sleep. Oh, okay. At
Deep
least
sleep.
he realized that he's in deep sleep. Wow. Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that we've talked about experiencing mindfulness, right? So Minnie, how do we then practice this? Is mindfulness something that we are born with? Like if I'm born a mindful person, or probably to me, I'm a very extroverted person. So can I say that I'm a less mindful person as compared to the other person who's probably more mindful, like introvert?
Oh, okay. The the tricky part actually is a lot of the time we use the term autopilot. It
Mm,
become automatic. Yeah.
mm,
So which is very important. Like I mean, in our evolution, is very important because can you imagine? It's like every day you need to learn how to brush your teeth again, right? It's going to be very difficult. But the thing is, this autopilot mode, after a while, right, it becomes part of you. Then you start to do things automatically, even though you may or may not even aware of it. Yeah.
mm.
So what happened is that like you just live your life like that, So sometimes you wonder like how come I keep repeating the same mistake. Whenever there's an emotional trigger, I keep falling into it again, and I never seem that I can get out of it.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it's
I
through
see.
this practice of mindfulness where your awareness start to build, then you'll be able to detect those patterns. Yeah.
Ah,
Then when you
I
can
see.
detect that, then slowly things can change. Yeah. Because it's
Hmm.
just like, if you cannot even find the problem, right? So there's nothing to solve. But in the eyes of others, they can see. They can see your blind spots.
Hmm.
But you may not have so many friends or who relative who are like really honest enough to want to point the blind spot out to you because they very scared that you may not be able to accept it. So the blind spot is obvious to a lot of people, but then accept you. And then one way is through this mindfulness, you can discover for yourself.
Ah.
Mm,
All right. So a lot of times, like just now, I think DK shared with us, asked us a very good question as,
mm,
sometimes people got very angry, very impulsive, but they didn't realize it because sometimes it could be also something that is like their autopilot. They do it so frequently that, it's like a norm. Something that trigger, I just become very angry. I just become very angry. Right.
mm,
So
mm,
looking at the screen right now, I can see that,
mm.
how, right? So, Mean Yeit, can you share with us now that we know like mindfulness is very important, and we need to, be aware of what's surrounding, how do we, increase our mindfulness? Yeah.
Oh, here, actually, there are many, many different ways. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so there are also different mindfulness practices, but here I recommend a simple one. Yeah, so is the first thing is to remember to pause for a short moment. Just pause, right? Like even now you're listening to me, just pause for a moment. Now, then we move to the second part, recognize. So recognize how you are right now. So you may use one word or a few words to describe. Oh, now I am quite peaceful, or I'm excited, I'm a bit bored, or whatever it is. Recognize how your internal environment is, and you move to the last one, which is just breathe. Yeah. And then I put down that breathe however way you need. Because sometimes when you recognize, it may be like you're so agitated. So what you need is to take a few deep breaths. So by all means, go and do it. Yeah. Or you're so calm. So what you need to breathe is just breathe normally. Yeah. So this is a very short, simple exercise, and it may take you only 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah. But if you use it often, right, it can be quite interesting. So let me give you an example. Sometimes unknowingly when we talk to our boss, right, we get very nervous, for example, and then we don't even know. We start to speak very fast, the heart start to pump and all these things. And then you may just pause. How am I right now? Very worried. Yeah, very worried how my boss will react. Then take a few short breaths. Yeah. Then after that, continue with whatever that you need to say. Yeah.
All right. So we have a question here. Okay, let's look at the question. Okay, Mean Yeit, most of the time we are more in concentration mode than practicing mindfulness. Okay,
Mm.
what should we do to reverse the autopilot? The other way, or do we need to balance both at all times? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. It is a matter of when to use what. Yeah, really is. Yeah. So it is I mean, the way I look at it is that usually we don't have enough mindfulness. Yeah. So this is why you need to practice it. And then slowly, you will know when to make use of it. Then, of course, when it is time to concentrate, so let's say, it's time to do your planning, you want to prepare something for your job, get it done and all these things. So, by all means, go into the concentration mode, but you are aware that you are going into the concentration mode. Because
Mm,
when you are in the concentration mode, you can still be aware. And sometimes,
mm,
even in the concentration mode, you may aware that you are over gearing. Yeah, like so stressed out, to get this done.
mm,
Yeah, and then you notice that your mind cannot think properly already. Somehow or another, the
mm.
ideas a bit jam up. Then,
Ah,
so you can be aware, even though it's in the concentration mode, and then you can let yourself, okay, now it's time to take a break.
time
Yeah,
to take
let's
a
relax.
pause, recognize, and breathe.
Yeah,
Correct?
yeah. Then
Yeah.
after that, you can go back into your concentration mode again.
Ah. So with that, we can stretch our concentration time to a longer time, or probably be more sustainable in the longer term.
It's
Right.
also
So
true.
next
It's also
question:
true.
can mindfulness help company staff conduct a more productive meeting? This is very interesting.
Yes, yes. Some of the companies they actually do those with certain mindfulness culture in place. They actually do some mindfulness practice first before they start the meeting. Yeah. And then what is very useful for the staff is sometimes when you are in the mindfulness mode, you're more aware of why you say certain things. Then let me just give you an example, right? You may catch yourself that sometimes you just want to argue to win, but it's no longer about putting a proposal forward already. That's when the discussion become personal. So how can you pause at that time? It's very not easy, to another person may see it, but it's not easy for that person to point it out to you. Because if point out to you, likelihood you'll react in a very negative manner. Yeah. But then if you have this mindfulness in you, then you can self-regulate. You know that you are getting personal already. It is no longer about the point.
Okay, follow up with the next question. Then just now you say that in meeting we need to pause. But if you keep pausing and pausing, right? So there's a question here. Okay, Houston is asking, can mindfulness slow down productivity? See, we need to keep pausing and pausing and pausing, right? What stop do you say, hey, boss? Hey, wait, I need to pause.
Sorry. Probably I didn't make clear just now, how long is that pause?
Okay. Right.
Yeah, so that pause exercise, probably the whole thing is like 1 minute. Or sometimes it could be like as short as 30 seconds. Yeah, it can be as short as that. And actually, what is surprising is when you are mindful, right, you tend to be a bit more productive. Let me give you an example because I also work in a company. Sometimes when you look at the email, right, you notice that you keep reading the same paragraph for don't know how many times because either you are sleepy or you just don't have enough coffee, that sort of thing, for example. And then at those moments, right, you're trying to be productive, but actually it's not at all productive one. Or another example would be like you're drafting an email, right? You keep type, then delete, type, delete, So these are very obvious example. Yeah. And those times, instead of like repeating it so many times, just take a pause. Probably at that time, you just need a 30-second break. Compose your thought. Okay, this is exactly what I want to say.
Right, Mean Yeit. Thank you very much for such a good sharing. Okay. In the interest of time, we will just go through the last one, right? The last comment here. Okay. Does mindfulness includes closing eye and facilitator saying, example, hearing the wave of the sea, feeling the breeze to the cheek, imagination goes back to the nature. Yeah. So I think this who is this? This is AI Chan, right? So AI Chan, I think this is a question that I think I can relate very well. A lot of time I hear other people say mindfulness, it's like a different meaning but what Mean Yeit has been sharing with us today, right? So it's like people say, wow, when I close my eyes, I can hear, I can feel I'm in Bali, wow, all the wave, how nice. Yes. Mean Yeit, what's your comment?
So it does depend on what is the purpose of that mindfulness practice. Just to bear in mind, right? There are different type of mindfulness practice. Yeah, there are those that like ask you to breathe, do breathing, right? So there are those that ask you to walk. There are variation of using body sensation. Just now I was using the variation of recognize how you are feeling your internal environment, right? So what AI Chan actually has highlighted, thanks for the question, is that closing eyes is not a must. But usually closing eyes for someone who's begin, right, is very helpful. Because eye is a huge distractor. Our eyes are very sensitive one, no? Yeah, rather as compared to our hearing, sense of touch and all these things. So this is why a lot of the mindfulness practice, when you first start, they actually ask you to close your eyes. But then there are certain practices that after a while they ask you to open the eyes one. Yeah, so that it is more real life. And on the guidance about like hearing wave and all this, right? So likelihood lah, huh? I don't know which particular mindfulness practice he's referring to. It could be those that helps you to calm down. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
that
it
help
serves
you
like different purpose. Yeah.
it's sort of like, bring your body rhythm, back to the sound of the wave, for example. Yeah. So then
Ah,
slowly you will calm down. Yeah. So
I
that
see.
could be the objective of that mindfulness practice.
So once we are calmed down, then we can start noticing of what's happening inside us.
Yes. Yes.
Is that normally
Usually,
the step?
correct. Because with a
Yeah.
clearer and a calmer mind, it is easier to detect what's going on.
Okay, so we will stop here for now. All right. So if you have more questions, you can comment down below. Probably Mean Yeit, if you're free tonight, after this session, you can go back, and help to answer some of the questions there. All right.
Right.
If not, for those of you, if you are interested, Mean Yeit will be having a online 4-session course, starting from the 13th of June to the 20th of June. Right. So if you want to sign up for this course, all right, so please, you can, scan the QR code right now. Okay, so we're gonna pause here for a while. If you couldn't scan it right later when this broadcast ends, it's going to replay again. You can go there and pause, and then you can scan it there. Okay, and you got more question or you like today's what Mean Yeit have shared with us, probably you might want to consider joining this and to learn more and explore more about mindfulness and how it can actually help you to transform your life, especially when it comes to the difficult times right now. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. Those of you who have been joining us since the beginning and until now, and for now, even watching until the end of the live broadcast. All right, and we also like to thank Mean Yeit. Mean Yeit, thanks for joining us,
you.
and it was very
Thanks.
wonderful sharing. Bringing us through the entire experience of mindfulness. All right, thank you very much, Mean Yeit. And for the rest of you, all right, so for the rest of you, we also want to share with you what's coming up next, right? So, and before that, I also want to request all of you to actually follow us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/mindheartc. As well as right now, we are also starting to post a lot of our updates on LinkedIn. So if you go to LinkedIn, you can search My Heart Connection. And if you like our show so much, right? You want to support our show, you can go on to LinkedIn and search hashtag Take5@5. Right, hashtag Take5@5 and follow it, and you receive a lot of updates when it comes to when we post new content. All right. Yes. So highlight for next week. All right. Next week we will have all power ladies. Okay, for our Take5@5. Okay, from the 18th of May, from the episode number 16, we will have Jade. All right, followed by Julia, Chantel, Cindy, and CJ. Yeah, so if you all recognize or you have seen some of their previous show in their own channel, we are very happy, to be able to get all 5 of them coming to our show next week. So remember to follow our page, all right, so that you don't miss out on the live show. So that's about it for today. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for watching. All right, I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.